Okay. All right, perfect. So let's start with the polls. How many times you have attended the webinar? So if you can click, are you here for the first time, second or third, or more than three? That will be great. So it will give me an idea if you do have new people. So then I'll talk a bit more about technology. If you don't have any new people or only few, then I will talk more about the news. And I would appreciate if all of you can click whatever the one is applicable for yourself, because it will give me a better picture and clear understanding. Okay, so I can see majority of the people more than three times. But we have people who are here for the first time. Okay. So I'll talk about technology, and if you would have any questions with regards to technological side of the business, then do let me know so I can explain in a bit more detail. So thank you very much. Mhm. And another one is what's your status? If you're a partner, agent, investment consultant, manager, or if you have no idea, if you don't know your status, then you definitely need to check our marketing plan. It will outline where you are in terms of the investment, and the different levels also allows you to kind of this will help you to understand how big is your network. So the more people you have, then you would become an agent, investment consultant, manager, etc., etc. All right. So we have partners, agents, investment consultants. We don't have any managers, and some people didn't know. Okay. All right, cool. Well, thank you very much for answering all these questions. And now let's talk about interesting stuff. So for all the people who hear not for the first time, you probably want to hear the result, the last month's result. And I know that we had a little competition between Norway and London. So I have results here. So surprisingly, but last months was not that great as we expected. Nevertheless, we have an Innotrans exhibition, and we thought that this will give lots of it will give a power new investment comes into the game. But we haven't seen a very big difference. Every month we are growing, and it's really clearly now since I think 6 months back. So May. Since May, we are growing instantly every month, especially in terms of the registration. And of course, the more registration we have, it will affect the investment. So the first country is Russia. Of course, they deliver in almost 1/3 of the entire money been sent to Minsk. So they are number one, and they there for so many months. Uh, Congratulations for Norway. They used to be number 9, and for the last month they number 6. So Norway officially beat every single country in the European Union in Europe, includes London, unfortunately. But yeah, congrats, guys! You done a really, really great job. So I'll make sure that London this month do better than Norway. As a little challenge, another challenge, and actually Germany they did also very well. Maybe because of the Inatrans, so maybe because we had a conversation with so many German people while we were there, so we can see really good results. So they come straight away after Norway, the number 7 Norway, and then we have UK and Oman. So very well done for you guys. So our competition still continue as far as we can do the crowdfunding. We can do little competition, and it will be good if other country can join, because I can see that Slovakia is there, Estonia, Moldova, Litva, Latvia, Ireland. They are there, but they're not in the top 10. Sweden. No, Sweden is not even in top 20. So unfortunately, we cannot see Sweden yet. However, I can see that there are increase of registration in Sweden and other countries who are not in the top. But definitely across every single region, we can see that registration are going up. So which is great. So thank you very much for great job, great input. Very well done for all the people who pushing this project forward. And I guess because of you guys, that's where we are at the moment. So that will be it from news with regards to the last month's very brief overview. And let's talk about presentation, and let's talk about SkyWay technology. Can you see my screen? Can you please put pluses if you can see my screen as well? Thank you, Mari. Okay, perfect. Thank you very much, guys. So let's start. Innovation in transport. So what is innovation today? I guess innovation is something innovative. That's why it's called innovation. And at the same time, innovation is something which it's in the right place at the right time. As you can see from the slide, there are lots of development in transport sector. And on the first picture left, we can see the maglev train, which been developed almost 20 years back now, or 15 years. This maglev train exists at the moment. It is the levitation train or magnetic train. But the only problem with this train is that it's extremely expensive. So to build 1 kilometer, just to give you an idea, it's cost them more than 40 million. And the only place where you can see this train is in Japan. So they have a technology, and the main idea was to increase the speed, which they successfully did. But at the same time, because of the cost of the construction and other technical difficulties, it's not very popular anywhere else in the world. Then we have a Hyperloop, which is on the right-hand side top. It is still a concept, so they don't even have existing transports or the prototype. And when we went to the exhibition in Germany, I saw two stands. Two different companies, they represented the Hyperloop, and apparently Hyperloop is not a single train. Hyperloop, it's a concept to use the trains in a vacuum. So there are a few companies who are involved in developing the Hyperloop, but fortunately for us, there is not even a prototype exists. And actually, when I went to the stand, so what they gave me were glasses, like 3D glasses, when you can put the glasses on, and then you'll feel like as if you're inside the train. So it's like augmented reality glasses, which for me it's a bit of misleading concept, because I don't know, are you promoting the train and railway systems, or are you promoting the new game or augmented reality tool? So that's why they could not share any details. And when we asked them, so what do you see, how many years you would need to develop this technology, what sort of funding you use, they give us like very different answers, and it sounded like very vague. So it seems like almost they had a plan, they had an idea, but how they will implement it, no one actually have a clue. And the fact that different companies now use the Hyperloop, like we have Hyperloop, then Hyperloop One, then Hyperloop and something else. So they're all different companies, and none of them achieve anything so far. So it's a bit of I don't know. I was not sure, and I thought they will achieve more, because there are lots of the news on the internet about Elon Musk being involved and SpaceX being sponsored the Hyperloop, but like it is not the case. And on recent interview, actually, Elon Musk, he said that all his attention go to his Solar City project. So he's not personally involved in a Hyperloop. Maybe that is the reason why it's not developed yet. Because if Elon Musk would be personally involved in something, I'm sure he would have come up with a better plan and better strategy. Because he really great man, really great entrepreneur, and the company who work with them, they're really fortunate. On the another picture on the right bottom, Schweb. This is actually existing transport. I'm not sure if I can call them the transport solutions, but these vehicles they installed in the park. It's more for fun and fitness purpose, but also idea is something to have elevated trains, and you can cycle, which is good for your health, and at the same time you can burn some calories, and you can deliver yourself from point A to point B. And this only exists in transport out of this three I mentioned. And now we have a Skyway. This is the 3D picture, so it is not the real shot. This actually project proposed to Australia. So that's how the station will look like in Australia. And this is technology I want to talk to you today a bit more details. Unitsky Anatoly Eduardovich, he's the company general designer and general director. He came up with the idea of having elevated trains more than 35 years back. But imagine in Soviet Union times where oil was booming, no one really cares about renewable energy, ecological friendly solutions. And at that time, the transport was not such a big problem because trains were created like 100 years back-ish. And on that time probably they didn't face the such problems like traffic jams and high level of pollution. So I think by the time when he thought about this project initially, it was simply too early. But again, it gave us assurance that it's really genius of him to come up with such idea in such early stages, because today it sounds quite obvious, because if you look around, the only gap we have in the market today is the transport sector. So I can order something using eBay or Amazon from China within a few minutes, but I will wait for delivery for weeks or sometimes months. So today we understand that transport is the problem. And as I mentioned before, McKinsey published a recently report where they mentioned that global economy need to put $3.3 trillion into infrastructure development. And infrastructure development is include the transport and logistics and building the infrastructure around the globe. So it is the really, really big problem now. But nevertheless, 35 years back, Unitsky came up with this idea, and he thought that's going to be relevant at that time. So he is the genius man. When I met him first in Minsk, he's very calm and very nice person. You can feel, like sort of the really friendly energy. And we had a conference in Minsk, and he answered all the questions for almost 5 hours. Which was great, and you can tell that he's very passionate about this technology. And he also very well-known engineer. He'd been involved in the Soviet Union when they sent people to the space. He got different awards, different patents. So he'd been very well-known. He's very well-known engineer in person among the post-Soviet Union space. So he got the excellent reputation, and that's why we SkyWay Invest Group, we support his idea. And Andrei Havratov, he's CEO of the SkyWay Invest Group, so he support Unitsky, and he find the way how we can fund his technology. And what we have today, it's because two geniuses met together, one from technology point of view and another one from the business point of view. So that's how we create the perfect balance. At the moment, we have four types of Skyway. So it's high-speed Skyway, which can reach the speed up to 500 kilometers an hour. We have inside the city one up to 150 kilometers an hour, cargo transport, and unibikes. Unibikes, it's a very light version of something similar to Schweb, but the speed will be much more greater, up to 120 kilometers an hour. And we have a different models, different size. It depends who would be our clients. For example, in some countries, they want to have high speed with a capacity of, I don't know, 2,000 people. In other countries, they want to have high speed with the capacity of 100 people. So they all they're all different. So we can do specific proposal for specific country. So every single proposal will be customized with regards to taking into consideration country needs and how they would like to use this technology and what for. All this transport eco-friendly. We can use different sources of energy. It's low noise, and the speed will be up to 500 kilometers an hour. At the moment, if you compare Skyway technology with any existing technology, we have greatest advantages, such as minimal land acquisition, which means that we don't need to physically go and build the road itself. What we do is we put the two support legs and we put the monorail inside of which we have a concrete and string technology, and this is the company know-how, and that's it. So it sounds too simple, but that's how it works. It's very straightforward technology, which allows you to build it in the middle of sea, in the middle of mountain, in the middle of safari. It does not matter what landscape it might have. That is why we have lots of interest from the countries such as Australia, because they have lots of lakes and lots of mountains. We have interest from Africa. We have interest from India, because it's like a huge country and they don't have any good transport system. And I think with the Skyway, we can offer really unique the transport solution. And at the moment, we don't even have any competitors. Like if you compare Skyway with existing levitation train, which I show you at the beginning of the presentation, then obviously the biggest advantage you will have is the cost. Because remember, I mentioned levitation train will cost 40 million per kilometer, while Skyway will cost you something from 3 million to 8 million. So it's such a big difference. And when you build so many kilometers, then it's such a big deal. And because we use the very light transport, so levitation train, it's extremely heavy. It's like a few tons. It's extremely heavy transport. If you're actually interested to understand more about our competitors, just Google maglev train documentary, and lots of facts about this maglev train, which you can also use when you present this technology. So Skyway, we use very light material. We use the plastic, we use wood, so it's all very very natural, very light. And because of that light material, it could be implemented anywhere in the world, and it's not that expensive at all. But saying that, it's very safe. For example, if we have some terroristic attack on our roads, nothing will happen, because it's very, as I mentioned, you have a metal, you have a concrete, and you have a string inside, which allows this technology to be, how the right way to say, so which will protect this technology from any terroristic attacks. And even if someone would decide to shoot with a gun to our rail, then nothing will happen to the rail itself. And technology being tested at -50, at +50. So we have all these proofs that this technology can and will exist in any given environment. You can install it in Siberia, you can install it in New Zealand. It does not matter. It makes no difference. So this is with regards to the Skyway advantages and how we're different compared to any existing transport. And this is unfortunately our reality. This picture taken in New York. As you can see, lots of traffic, lots of pollution, and that's how it is today. And myself, I live in London, and I can clearly see that we have more and more cars every time, especially in evening time. So peak time, it's taking me almost an hour, even though I leave like 30 minutes by bus from like home and office. It takes me like almost an hour every day to go back and forward, because of the traffic, because of the we have so many people who use the public transport. And if it's a bit cold here in London, then traffic stop completely. We have lots of floats happening during the year a few times. So it's really affecting us really bad. But imagine if we put all our transport system on a second level. It's called elevated transport system. So it's going to be 5 to 10 meters above the ground. So we would not have any traffic. We would not have any problems with being too cold or too warm. And it doesn't matter if you have float, it's not going to affect us, because support legs will be installed in a way that's very sustainable. And Yuniski mentioned that technology itself, you don't need to repair every month. What happened with the roads, especially in London, almost every month we have some, roads replacement, which again work against us, because it means that we have even more traffic. And Skyway, you can repair only once in 100 years, which is really great, and it's all automated system, which means that we would not have human or the driver who might do any mistake. Because if you have a look at the reason why we have oh gosh, today I'm run out of the words. what is called not the traffic accidents. The reason why we have accidents, most of them are because of the human mistake. And while they're using the Skyway, we would eliminate this, and it will help us to reduce the number of accidents. So all this combined together, that's what Skyway is offering. And if you use the Skyway in your city, that's how it might look like. So it could be very nicely installed in the middle of water. It's not gonna interfere with the landscape a lot, and we don't need huge piece of land for the station. It could be considerably small land which you can use to build the station, and the station could be rented, or we can put different facilities. Like Australia at the moment, they planning to use the station for the car park, which again provide another stream of money for the government, and it is another great advantage of building the station. So that's how it will look like if you use the Skyway. And of course, we will try to build Skyways in a way that is not going to interfere with the landscape, and it will look nice. And every single train, they really low noise. So it's not like you're going to hear the cars and, like sirenes. It's going to be very nice and calm environment. And that's what we're trying to achieve. How we'll do it? So far, we use the crowdfunding. For people who are not aware, what is crowdfunding is basically when you have a great idea and you're looking for people who can support a great idea. Traditionally, when we're talking about the business funding, company would approach the banks so they can take loans and then repay back. But now with the crowdfunding, we don't need to ask for loans from the banks. We don't need to pay crazy percentages on the top. We're just offering people become the part of the technology, become shareholders of the technology, and then as soon as the company become profitable, then we all benefit from that. So this is the idea of crowdfunding. So everyone is given an opportunity to invest and become a technology co-owner. Ecotechnopark is our piece of land in Minsk, 35 hectares of land, which we use for testing purposes. So we have different types of roads here. We have a speed transport, cargo transport, inside a city transport, and unibikes. In order to complete the ecopark entirely, we're looking for investment of 200 million. So far, we raised around 15 million using crowdfunding. And after the InnoTrans exhibition, now we have lots of publicity. And as I mentioned probably on our webinars, we do have now big investors who are very keen and very interested to fund this technology, as well as we're now preparing the documents for the hedge funds, for the family offices, whereby they can invest to the main technology completely. So we don't need to do the crowdfunding for the entire period. Crowdfunding was good at the beginning when we had just an idea. Now, as we have an actual piece of transport, in October, November, December, it will be lots of tests happening in Minsk. And next year, we'll do the certification of inside the city transport and unibikes. And as soon as certification done, this will allow us to sell unibikes and inside the city transport globally. So this is the plan, and the company so far doing very well. These are the pictures from Ecotechnopark. I think these pictures are a bit outdated. They actually been taken in July, and now we are in October. So lots of things are happening since that time. You can Google SkyWay Ecotechnopark on YouTube. You will find lots of videos where you can have a look at what's been done so far. And today we are stage number 7, which means that company have 15 development stages, and each stage represents certain work needs to be done. So when the company hit the stage number 15, that means the company ready to go to IPO. And the company will go to IPO only after 100,000 kilometers of roads been built. And because we already have agreements with the various countries, and if you calculate every single kilometer we have with the various countries, the total amount of projects we have is equal to 160,000 kilometers. So it's even more than we need for us to go to IPO. But at the same time, we want to be realistic, and we understand that maybe not every single contract might happen right away. So we take in the worst case scenario. That's what if the half of the project will be delayed, and then we'll have a new project come into the picture. That's why 3 to 5 years, this will be the most realistic deadline to give when the company goes to IPO. And today we are on stage number 7, as you can see, 2016, 2017. It means a transport demonstration and certification. So demonstration will happen before beginning of 2017, and certification will be taken part in Q1, Q2, 2017. And as soon as technology is certified, then we can adopt the technology globally. And at the same time, as we build in the projects for inside the city or unibikes, at the same time, we'll still collect the money from the hedge funds or private investors to start building the high speed and cargo transport, because we need to certify 4 type of transport. We don't need to just we don't do this 2 types of transport and then we sit back and relax. So we have 4 types of transport which needs to be certified, and that is why the total amount of money we need to collect is 200 million. Well, now it's less because we raised $15,000 already. But that would be just an idea. And in back office, if you log in, you would be able to find a business development plan, and it's described each stage separately. So you will be able to understand how much money you need to raise for each stage and what would this stage represent. Even it goes so detailed, even to as how many people you need to employ to finish certain kilometers of certain road. So it's extremely detailed. So if you're interested to understand more about like deadlines and facts and figures, then I definitely recommend you to go online, go to your back office, and find 15 stages development plan, and where you would be able to read yourself and understand how your money been spent or how the shareholders' money been spent so far. As I mentioned, we do have lots of contracts already signed. Some of them contracts, some of them letters of agreement. Because we don't have a certified transport yet, so we cannot technically start building the project anywhere. So that is why we now at the moment at the stage where we can initiate the address project, when we can talk to the government and with the different countries, we can show them the benefit of using SkyWay, but at the same time we can do the test and certification. So as soon as certification is done, then we can approach different countries, showing them certificates, showing them technical documentation, and they can go ahead and build it locally. So that will be an idea. So we transfer in the technology. Unitsky not going to travel in each country and build everything himself from the scratch. We provide the documentation to initiate the project, and each government will use local engineering company, local labor to build the project themselves. So we give them opportunity to own the roads, as well as we give them opportunity to hire local labor and hire local company to build a skyway in their countries, which is a great opportunity, because it is not just about us to benefit. We can also show them the opportunity, and they can benefit themselves a lot. So this will be a Unitsky idea and Havratov idea, how we can spread the idea about having innovative skyway transport in a different city and connect the cities, connect the continents. What is there for you? I guess it's a very important question, because we do have lots of good projects available. But the question always the people would ask, so what is there for me? Okay, you can build your roads. It could be environmental friendly. You can save the planet. We can travel fast and cheaper. But what is there for me? As if it's not enough. But don't worry, we have something for everyone. So far, as I mentioned, we use the crowdfunding to raise the funds. So if you register online, you would be able to see different packages, various packages where you can invest $10 or $1,000, $10,000. You can decide yourself whatever money you want to invest. And what is important to see from that slide is, if you have a look at the example of 1,000, if you invest today 1,000, you will get 100,000 shares in your package. And after the company goes to IPO, one share will cost $1, which means that you will be owner of the portfolio equal to 180,000, 1,080, sorry, 1,080, gosh, $180,000 dollars. And of course, the more you invest, the bigger your portfolio would be. And just to give you an idea, when I started, when I heard for the first time about the SkyWay, it was stage number 2. So for the same 1,000, I could have had a portfolio of around 750,000. And shares I purchased, they were much more cheaper than what you guys have now. So the closer we are to the IPO, the closer we are to actually building this project globally, the less riskier that investment would be. But at the same time, if you have a less risk, then the price go up. So it's very straightforward logic, and I think you would agree with me. That's how it should be. The people who started invest initially in technology, who believe on idea, who believe in the picture, they should be more rewarded. But the good news is that we still have a really decent opportunity. I mean, I doubt if you can find any decent investment today whereby you can invest $5,000 and you will have 1,400,000 shares, which will be equal to $1,400,000 within the next 3 to 5 years. I doubt. And if you found, then please do check them, because there is a big possibility that's maybe scam. So because we're talking about the transport infrastructure sector, it can be used by any country, by every single person. We don't have a certain market segmentation. Our users can be anyone from any country, and that's what makes this investment extremely profitable. If you, for example, have a look at the top 10 venture capital investors, so all of them invested on a very how to say it, very unique project in terms of, if you use the, let's say, Uber, right? It's the car. You probably all heard about Uber. So no one owned the car itself. You just use it. You can rent the car, and then you can earn money from the rent in the car. And at the same time, the people get the cheaper rates compared to the black taxi or any other taxis available. And now it is growing models globally. So they use different franchisees models, and they're everywhere in the world. And now they do Uber for food. Now they do like all different sorts of services add on. And when you have the services add on, that's where the share price will go up and up and up. So at the beginning, when the concept was born, the share price were very cheap. But now, if you have a look at the company like WhatsApp, Facebook, LinkedIn, Uber, the share price goes up every time, because the more services you add, the more people will use your services, then the more expensive it will become. So same with the roads. Imagine if you build a road today in 7 countries, then next year it could be 14 countries, next year it could be 20 countries, and then we can connect them, and then we can add cargo line, we can add the high-speed transport service, unlimited possibilities. We can explore there for the entire lifetime. And the best thing about investment, that you invest once in your life and you benefit lifelong, because the dividends will be paid as soon as company is performing, as soon as company is working. So whatever decision you come up with today, it's something you can pass to your children and to your grandchildren and to your grandchildren. So all this technology, all this idea about having investment into something, give you such a great returns and security. Because myself, I don't want to work all my life. I want to have a peaceful life. I want to travel. I want to do whatever I want to do. I don't want to depend on my work, and I don't want to depend on anyone. So idea is creating the portfolio with the different investment opportunities where you can balance it, and when you will have a short-term benefits, medium-term benefits, and long-term benefits. So in our case, you invest once in a Skyway, and this will be your lifelong investment. And you can use the dividend, so you can sell the part of your portfolio, or you can keep it all to yourself and wait till the share go up and up. So this will be an idea with investment opportunities, and probably you heard many times. I mentioned in my webinars, and I think Andrei Havratov, he also mentioned so many times that this is the only opportunity for the people to invest is the crowdfunding. Because if you would want to invest in like in some big companies or big startups which are really have a very big potential, it is not that easy. You know, you need to be professional investor for you to invest the big money. And because most of us are just ordinary people, we don't have like hundred thousands in our savings account, so we have only like considerably little money to invest. But even with this little money, we could succeed. And we all heard the story about the iPad, about the not iPad, and Apple. When Steve Jobs, he offered initially four people to be part of his company, and two of them they said no, and another two who said yes. Now they are billionaires. One guy owns $3 billion stake in Apple, and another guy owns 8 billion stake, and it's happened within what, like 15 years or even less. So there are so many opportunities there. And when people look at these figures and tell me, oh, you know, it's too good to be true. How can I invest 5K and then I will have million, 1,400,000? It must have been scam, or I don't understand how it's possible. Well, it is possible. You just need to do a bit of your homework. You need to read other examples, and you will see that some companies can achieve even more, and we will achieve even more. This $1 per one share, it will happen as soon as we build 100,000 kilometers. But what if we build 200,000 kilometers? What if we build the 1 million kilometers? So it is endless opportunities. And I really want you guys to understand this, because this is very important. And we will start the crowdfunding very soon. I mentioned that before. And now I will share with you latest news, which I confirmed what I said to you before. So do not miss on this opportunity just because you're not sure. I mean, if you have all information, then you would be sure. So if you're not sure, then keep asking question until you're sure. And just don't think that it's too good to be true, because there are so many examples of different companies who achieved even more. So we're here. We're targeting like moderate price, but there are endless opportunities, and we can even go higher than $10 per share or $50 per share. There is no limit as soon as we keep building the roads. Um, so the next big news is that we're going to the stage 8, October 17, which means that discount will increase to 10 to 30%, which means that we're not going to longer have monthly payments available. So make sure that people, if you have any monthly payments, make sure that either you close them now if you have opportunity. If you don't have opportunity, don't worry. Nobody will kind of pressure you to close down your payment plan. We would have a plan B for the people who will still need to pay monthly installments, and I think I will get more clear detail after the tomorrow meeting with the board of directors, and next week I will run. Or the next week I'll run some webinar where we'll explain if you want, if you have any questions with regards to the monthly discount. And add-on rewards will be 50% less, which means that if today you're inviting the people join the business, you will receive. I think I have it somewhere here. Yeah, if today you invite people into your business, you'll receive 15% on the first line and 7.5% the shares. So after 17th of October, which will happen in 2 weeks' time, you're not gonna receive 7.5% shares. You'll receive half of it, because we now at the stage where shares are more valuable than money. So company can still give you rewards away money wise, but to give 7.5% the shares, that's a lot. And again, if you have a look at the portfolio we have, you can invest small amount of money, but you will have huge amount of shares. And now we're coming to the stage 8, which represent the technology certification and technology demonstration. And this is the key moment where we actually have a real piece of transport. So we're not talking about we will build it. We already have it. So that is why this stage will be last for the crowdfunding, and I haven't heard what exactly would be the deadline, but there's something I mentioned, guys, to you before that October, probably the last month. So what I know today that after 17 we go to the different stage, which means that we'll have different discount. It's going to be 10 to 30% more expensive than you buy today or till 17. We're not going to longer have any special discounts. We're not going to longer have any monthly payments. It's going to be just investment programs, which you can select one package and you just buy, and that's it. So it's going to be really straightforward. And I know that all agent rewards will be decreased by 50%. So these are not necessarily negative news, because in the bigger picture, of course, we all do care about our own success, and we want to share this opportunity with many, many people. But our main goal is make sure the technology is certified, make sure that it's up and running, and make sure that we have the contract with the various countries. They build their technology locally, and then the company go to IPO. So these are very good news, and the fact that we're not going to do monthly payments also will allow us to target private investors, because when you approach like hedge funds or private investors or family offices and you tell them, hey, it's a monthly opportunity, they're not going to take it serious, because there is not a big business which allows you to do the monthly payments, you know. So we want to now look more serious. We're ready to look more serious. We're a very transparent company. It's very obvious that what we do it will be beneficial for the entire world. And all what we need now is to make sure that the people who use the crowdfunding, that they clean up whatever it's last, whatever they need to do. They tell the people they care and they want to be successful about this opportunity as it's end very soon. And then some people will sit back and relax. Some people will be involved in local projects, and some people might be involved in the different investment opportunities. So overall, it's very positive news. And for people who involved in reward marketing, so guys, this is the last 2 weeks when you can earn a very good amount of shares. This is last 2 weeks when people who you introduce the technology can earn really good rewards in terms of the amount of shares they will own or their portfolios. So don't just miss out on such a great opportunity, because as you all know, when we go to the next stage, we will never revert back. So whatever going to happen after 17, that will be there for the next few months until we reach the second stage and further. So hopefully you like this news. Me personally, when I heard about it was yesterday, I was shocked. I was like, I could not believe that actually happening. Because when you talk about them, oh, we're gonna build this, we're gonna go to IPO, we're gonna have the project, we're gonna move to demonstration, and when it's actually happening now, and you feel completely different. You feel so proud to be the part of this project. I feel so proud that all my family and friends are involved in this project. So I really cannot wait when we get the big guys who are already interested to finance the rest of the technology. So they sign all the paperwork and everything will be done. And then we just need to concentrate on the local projects. I really cannot wait when this news will be available, which means that this will be our first project which we funded because of the people, because of all of your support. Just briefly news, we do have lots of publicity. Most of you heard about on air. The left hand side picture, this was published only a week ago by FinFinance, FinFuture magazine. It is available on Facebook, and I think I posted in a group. Or Armand he posted. So if you would have any, if you want to read, definitely read it. I really like this article. Very smooth. They're talking about the global transnet as well, and they're talking about the concept. They're comparing string technology or the transport know-how with the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Like all of a sudden, it's become obvious for everyone. Same would happen with the transport. So all of a sudden, everyone start be interested into innovation. They want to invest in transport, and it's become really obvious for lots of people. So very good article, and you can use this article for your friends or for people who are not yet sure. It's written in a very nice manner, and I like personally, I really like the what is written there. In a trance, just few pictures. Happens 1.5 week already. talk a lot about Inatrans, so I don't think that we need to talk more. But at Inatrans, we had the first time in the history of Skyway. They launched two real piece of transport, which is Unibike and Unibike and Unibus. And that was for the first time. We have lots of people who came from all over the world, and we collect lots of business cards. And because of that, we're now moving forward with a few countries who are interested to have a contracts in their country, and they want to support Skyway. Again, at the same time, we had Inatrans in Berlin. We had International Economical Forum in Ukraine, where we have more than 30 countries presenting the innovative solution, not about the transport, but overall related to innovation. And of course, at Skyway, we have our representatives, and they talk to lots of journalists to raise the awareness about the project, and also they talk with a few officials. And in Ukraine now they're planning to build a massive project, and I think we will have more information available very soon. But yeah, definitely there is enough level of interest to start actually building it. And I think for us as shareholders, this is another piece of security. That's nevertheless we didn't have a project yet. We would have a people who want to buy it, as if you have your at a coffee shop. You don't start selling the coffee yet, but you have a queue outside waiting for you. So that's what we have today. We have lots of contracts, and we really hope that every single contract will be built smooth, and all the countries who confirm the interest, who sign actually document that they will keep their promises, and we can start building the Skyways trains, so Skyway infrastructures globally. Today, this week, we have a Belarus Transport and Logistics week. Yunitsky himself, he's there. He's been invited personally by Belarus Prime Minister to, they have Belarus President, to take a part in this forum. It is smaller than we had in Berlin, but at the same time, they had lots of officials there, and they had a conversation with the transport development with the head of with the head of transport department, Belarus, and have few people from Lithuania on the official level, and we have a people from Russia there as well. So they managed to also build really good network, and we have our people there. You can see Armand here. Smiling, so he been everywhere. Inatrans, now Belarus. Watch him where he gonna be next. And overall, it's just very positive feedback. And people who attend this forum, they said like they have so many people who want to sit inside, who want to, click on the different. We have a very big screens inside the Unibikes where you can select the music or select the routes. So lots of people wanted to kind of check out what is the innovation, what's going on at this exhibition. Um, yeah, professional training. I think I already mentioned to a few people that we have a new product. It's called EIP Profi. The training will start from 5th of November this year. So these are professional training which will give you enough knowledge to talk about the address projects. The training is prepared by Andrei Havratov. He's on the left. He's CEO, private investor. He's self-made millionaire, and because of him, Unitsky and his team, where they now at the moment, because he was the first person who not just recognized the potential, but he gave the hand to Unitsky, and he offered to do the crowdfunding. So lots of the profounded ideas came from Andrei Havratov, and that's why when I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, we have such a good mix of the people. When business people, they actually do business, and technological people in construction, they constructed the work, so they do the technical side, because it's impossible for one person to do everything. So if you're a genius and you know how to build it, you have this know-how which is worth of 400 billion intellectual property, you don't have a simple time or energy or resources to go and talk about the business, or to build the different opportunities, or to do like what Havratov can do. So that's why we have a perfect mix here, and we have a Victor Sober who is on the right hand side. He's our coach. He's the business development, strategic development director of the Skyway Invest Group, and he actually joined our company. I believe it was December last year, and after he joined, Havrata, he saw such a big difference in terms of the figures, because Victor Sober has this really good like character where he can have a look at the structure of the company, and he will see and he will tell you like, oh, we need to change this, we need to change this because this will work better, we need to move people around, and actually it's produced a really good results. So that's why when he came to the Skyway, Andrei Havratov, he invited him personally. They managed to build such a great team together, and we can see now that every month we have more and more registration, every month we deliver more and more money to the Unitsky, and business works perfectly well. So if you want to be involved in a local project, then you have to go through the master profit training. Karatov clearly outlined that he's not gonna teach the people how to approach the government or how to put the presentation together unless they took a part in his training. He's not asking you to pay for his training to his own pocket. Wherever the money you pay for the training, it will be sent directly to Minsk. So that's why I don't feel like we try to push you to do something just to get extra money out of your pocket. That's not the case. Myself, I finished training. Armand, he finished training. We have in London 4 people who work for us. All of them finish a profit training. So that's how we can justify if the person is ready. That you are investor yourself, so you understand technology, you understand the business part of you, and you want to learn. You want to become a leader. You don't want to just like you don't want to be a supporter, you want to be a leader, because we're looking for leaders now, especially when you're talking about the targeted projects. Like Armand cannot travel in every single country and help everyone, it's just impossible. So we want to grow our leaders who can help themselves and help other peoples locally. So that is why if you're serious about it, this is the only way. You cannot start talking about you become a director of the office or do serious business without you completing this training. Simple as. So if you're interested, that's where you need to go. It is available at the back office. They actually the price was slightly high, but today when I checked, the price was lower. So I don't know why is that. Maybe some technical glitch, but if it is, then you have a brilliant opportunity to be part of the training course and invest less money than it was yesterday. I think that will be all from my side. I can see that you have you guys have questions, so I can answer them accordingly. Oh, sorry, something went wrong with my camera. All right. Great. What is wrong? My certificates. Harrison, your certificates marked cancel. That's very strange. I have no idea why is that. We have online support who can log in into your account and check what is the problem is. Because this is the first time I hear that certificate been cancelled. Like I don't know what should be the reason. If you when you have a certificate, which means that you pass verification. So if you pass verification, I don't know what is the reason why they cancel unless you didn't pay for the package. I don't know. It could be so many reasons, but I have no idea. You need to talk to the support. I don't want to just hit in the dark because I don't know. I have heard that maybe we can go to IPO in 2017, 2018. No, it is really unlikely. It's impossible because 2017 would be certification, right? So after certification is done, we need to build at least 100,000 kilometers, and then we can go to IPO. And we cannot build 100,000 kilometers within a month or half a year, so it will take some time. So it's very unlikely that 2017 is too early for IPO. When will certification be finished? It depends. If everything goes smoothly, then by the middle of next year, we should have a certification for unibikes and inside the city transport. Okay, yeah, me too. People like very happy. They said finally we're moving forward. I've been waiting for this. It's really, yeah, really, really good news. When the sale of shares stop because the manager is going to buy. Um, oh, sorry. I can see such a big questions. Such a big question. It's not even a question. It's like an essay. What can we use bonuses we get from those who have 8-month package if they're paying down? How I see it, bonuses can only be used in investment project. I'm wrong. It's a good amount of mess. Yeah, I think you have like many questions in one question, Jan. But yeah, if you're talking about the local projects, then investment, like everyone can invest in local projects, and this will be option available in back office. I don't know how it will work from a technical point of view yet because they are still developing this, but in theory, you would have a button where you can select different portfolios. So you can invest, let's say, in local project in Australia, in I don't know Ireland, in Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, whatever it is. And of course, they're not going to start the crowdfunding from $10. It will be different terms and condition. The last webinar, Andrei Haratov, he mentioned that minimum price for the targeted project would be $1,000. So this would be the price, but I don't know. It's not yet been confirmed because we don't have any local or any target project yet which will be seeking for funding because again we're waiting for certification, so this will be our main priority. Okay, I hope I answered. If not, then personal message me, John, if I did not answer your question. When we yes, as soon as we build 100,000 kilometers in 3 to 5 years, then we can go to IPO and one share will be $1, right? Okay, Shirley also mentioned that her one was cancelled, but Armin said it's the old one. Guys, if you have, I actually wasn't aware that people certificates were cancelled because in my network, I had no one come up to me with this question. But if you have more people who notice in the back office that their certificate cancelled, please do report this to support because come on, guys, you invested money and there's something very important. So don't just wait. Do ask them and demand for answer because it's very important to understand what is the reason. Maybe some technical issue or who knows what it might be. You mentioned 100, Simona, you mentioned 106,000 kilometers SkyWay has. How many kilometers the company has a contract signed already? Yeah, these are the signed contracts. So we have a letters of agreements or contracts, whatever you call them, to build 160,000 kilometers. However, for company go to IPO, they need to complete only 100,000, which means that even if 1/3 of the project will fail in terms of not fail to build, but if some countries change their mind or they want to postpone or they want to see other country first, so we still have a very fair at like the time frame to complete and to hit the IPO within 3 to 5 years, because we already have today more contracts signed or letters of agreement signed than we need to have to go to IPO. So this would be the main point. Okay, Tatiana, she mentioned that cancelled new certificate because shares were transferred to the main company. Could be, yeah, that could be the case. Is Australian contract signed? How many kilometers Australia have? Well, initially Australia want to build half of the kilometer in Adelaide University, and that was the contract they have signed. But after they now offering another 7 contracts, and Rod Hook, he shared with us the proposal. It's PDF file, which actually I have online as well. So if you're interested, I can send it to you guys. Where they mention about other 7 projects in Australia, which Rod Hook think would be very profitable. But at the same time, he said that they'll decide to do on Ecotechnopark, not like build entire Ecotechnopark, but they will do 1 kilometer test in Australia because apparently certification, the European certification they might do in Minsk might be different, slightly different to what they might need in Australia. So he come up with the idea of build 1 kilometer in Australia, which will be a testimonial for any other projects in Australia. So that is why it's slightly postponed, because now they need to put the money into 1 kilometer road first. So they need to build it, 1 kilometer test sector, and then they'll do the actual project. John, for those who have 10 months package, will they lose anything after 17? Well, this is a very good question. I have no idea yet how would that work out, but what I heard from Andrei Havratov is that the people would not lose their money, like they would be still able to pay back, but is maybe within the different structures. I will have more understanding after tomorrow or Saturday event, where Havratov and a few other directors, they will explain what will happen next, and then guys I can share with you maybe Monday or Tuesday next week, so you have all updated information. So advice I was given that all the people who have, like for example, few months left, if they can pay, then let them pay today, like let them pay whatever the time is to 17. At the same time, if the people cannot pay till 17, like for example, if you have like 7 installments and you can't pay it physically to have this money, then don't worry, we'll come up with the plan, but it could be different from what we have now. And it's going to be different not in terms of the shares that people will own, but in terms of the reward you might get in your structure. I hope it's clear, but again, I have no idea myself yet what details could be. So at the moment, that's how I think I will leave it to you guys for today. Well, it seems like we don't have any questions. Yeah, I mean, I would advise to go back to you people, explain them that it is very good news. We moving further to the stage number 8. For people who want to take the monthly package, they only have 2 weeks. You understand this, guys, right? So after 17, no monthly package is available. So the Havratov and Unitsky, they're not going to push you to do something for the reason of canceling. It just is stupid. It's not going to happen. So the people would have opportunity to pay off the packages, but we will understand going to be different reward maybe. I don't know. So we will have a terms and conditions after, but the as the primary thought, it will be they can still have these packages available in back office till 17, and then this option will be taken away. So after 17, and if you log into back office, you will see investment programs. That's it. This will be the plan. But people who, yeah, I also think it's a really great plan. It's thank you, John. It really makes easy life for us. And then for the big investors, we will look more professional, more credible. So I think overall, it's really good strategic plan. Please share with this record. Yeah, definitely. I will share with you this record and recordings. And then on Monday, we'll have a Tuesday follow-up webinar so I can share with you what will happen to the people who pay, who still have monthly installments. Like, how would that work with them? From development stage to SkyWay Group Company, station number 15. Yeah, John, I know that it is from business development plan. It says that the entry of SkyWay holding company in stock market and IPO will be 2018, but at the same time, we look at it now and it is unlikely realistic because we need to also be like we need to give real deadlines. We don't want to tell people that we go to IPO 2017 or 2018 where we know that it might happen. It might happen. If you have, for example, certification done in January or February, then we can build the road from March onwards, and we have entire year 17 and 18 to build it. And if we manage to build 100,000 kilometers, which is in theory very possible, then we can go to IPO by 2018. But this is the ideal scenario. But unfortunately, we don't live in an ideal world, and anything might happen. So when I talk to my investors, I would never give them like 2018 as a deadline. I would usually not even give a date. I would say to them, as soon as 100 kilometers built, then we go to IPO. It might happen 2018. It could happen. And you're right. This is something written in business development plan. But what if it's not going to go to them according to scenario? Then it's going to be some delays. So you don't want people be dissatisfied because you over delivered. You want to under deliver, and then people are happy because we deliver even more, like it's happening today with the 8th stage. Like it's great news. But if we talk about the stage number 8, sorry, a month ago, and it's still not happening, the people will be upset. So same with the IPO. It's very careful topics where you don't need to give a deadline, you give it kilometers. So as soon as this kilometer is built, then we're happy to go forward. And so far we have a letters of agreement again, which in total we have 160,000 roads. And to go to IPO, we need to build only 100,000 roads. So technically, we have even more orders today than we need to go to IPO, which is really cool factor. Yeah, indeed. Competition goes on as soon as we do the crowdfunding competition goes. During the IPO, we allowed to sell shares to the open market, where the planned market to list the stocks. At the moment, really, we don't have information about what stock, where we're going to be listed. I think it's slightly early for that. But when you have a shares, when company goes to IPO, you just hire the broker and they will sell it on your behalf. Or maybe company can appoint one broker. I don't know how it will work in our case, but usually you have a broker who will deal with your shares. So you pay him whatever the percentage they ask, and then after tax they will receive your money. So that's how it usually works. People will not only set as delivery by money will affect. Exactly, yeah, you're right. So it's always better, kind of not over promise. It's better under promise and then deliver more, because then we would have a more happy people. But if we tell everyone that it will happen tomorrow, and tomorrow nothing happens, then people will be upset even if it's happened day after tomorrow. So it's better to say it will happen in a week time, and if it's happened day after tomorrow, they will be so happy because they thought like, oh gosh, we need to wait a week, and now it's happening, tomorrow. So absolutely. So thank you very much. I need to have a look if they change anything. Yeah, time will show. Absolutely. So thank you very much, guys, for your time. I hope you really liked the news I shared with you. Then I will update you in a new webinar on Monday, Tuesday, and I will share with you only updates with regards to the monthly plans and whatever the Andrei Havratov mentioned to us, that like to me and other directors, and I will pass it to you as well, so you would be up to date. So make sure you tell all you people about such a great news I shared with you today. I will give you recording, and let's continue to work all together as we do now. And that will be all from my side for today. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you. Take care, guys. All the best.